Okay, now we're recording. Okay, so just remember those tips about speaking outline. Now, last week, I may have confused you a little bit, but so I want to be clear. You don't have to critique last week's speech that we did in class on visual arts. Okay, I'm just going to give you a grade for what you did, and that's it. Now, I did post the videos if in case you want to look at it and see yourself and, make some adjustments based on what you view. What else did I want to say about it? Oh, so last week people were confused about where to upload their speaking outline. It's in week 7. Week 7. Is that what I told you, Grace? Week 7? Is that what I told you where it was in week 7?
I wouldn't remember, to be frank.
Okay.
The
Let me
whole
pull
week
up the
system's
screen.
got me completely confused now. I don't understand a thing.
Okay.
I just check every week to
You
see
don't
which
understand a
where
thing. That's
on.
not good. Okay. Uh, that's not what I want to show. So maybe you want to talk to me about what you don't understand, because I want you to be clear on your understanding.
To be frank, I don't know what week it is. I don't understand how I am supposed to figure out
Okay,
where it
so I
is
told
in all that.
everyone that you can go through your syllabus. Okay. Remember this, the syllabus? Remember that from day one, the syllabus?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you see here where it has week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. You can go through your syllabus and look at your calendar and write it, just like I did. See how I wrote the date next to it? Okay. 6/14, 7/1, 7. You can do that, okay? If you don't know what week it is, you can actually go through there and write the date there. All right? Is that clear enough, Grace?
All right.
It's on
Yeah.
the last pages of your syllabus. It goes by week by week by week. Okay. So just get your calendar out and you'll see what's the actual date of week 1. What's the actual date of week 2? Today is week 7. Okay, week 7. That's July the 8th is week 7. So you can get the dates from there forward. Next week is week 8. That's July the 15th. Week 9 is July 22nd. Week 10 is July 29th. Week 11 is August the 5th. And week 12 is August the 12th. Okay. Is that a little more clear for you, Grace? Is that clearer? You're not convincing me. Is that clear or no? You still don't know what week, how to
To
figure out the dates of the weeks?
to be frank, I do know what week it is now, but that was more of the microcosm of the problem. The problem is I just don't understand why assignments are where they are and what's going on.
Well, that's not for you to figure out. Like, you shouldn't be worrying about, well, why is it in this folder and not in that folder? I don't know
Well,
why that's a concern.
I gotta worry about it because if I can't predict that, then that makes it more likely that I will miss something and then I will miss an assignment and then I will die.
Oh, no, no. If you all noticed, okay, I have not really been that strict about late documents. as I could be, but I'm not. Okay. You can just go in there and open up the submission folders. Can go in and open the submission folders. But you know what? We can talk about this later after class or either another date, and maybe I can help make this a little clearer for you. But it's in terms of you don't understand why it's in that folder, that's something you really should not be concerned about. Why is it in that folder? Because anybody could have a reason for why it's in this folder and not in that folder, or sometimes it's merely because there's no space left in the folder where maybe you might think it should be. There's no space there for us to put it because it already has a lot of submission folders in it. So that's why you can't be that concerned about why is it not in this folder. It should be here or it should be there. Like, I think the only person that really knows that would be the person who created the folders. Okay. All right. So I want to get through this because we do have some work to do tonight. And Grace, I will come back and hopefully we after class stay a little bit, and then hopefully I can help you out with that. But you've been doing a great job so far, so you're not going to die. I don't want you to get like, too stressed out over something like that, because it's not that that you're not going to have that problem. Okay. So don't worry about that. All right. Speaking out. Okay, so it is in week 7. Which week is this? 6. Week. Can you all see this share that I'm doing now? I have the lessons up and I'm opening week 7. Are you able to view this? Just give me a thumbs up if you can see week 7 now on the screen. Okay, good. Critique. Okay, this is the instruction for that. Okay, one thing I did want to show you now. So remember when I put this study guide supporting your ideas into the submission folder in week 5? Okay. In that study guide, it shows as a video as an example of different types of examples. So you could have an extended example, a brief example, or a hypothetical example. And I also put a statistics. But in that supporting your ideas study guide, it is in there as a PDF, which means you can't click on the videos of the people. So what I did is went back, took the videos out and put them in separately. So you can see them here, right? Can everybody see them here? You can click on those samples, those examples, and you'll be able to see what is an example, how someone is delivering an extended example or a brief example or hypothetical. Okay, that's in this folder. Week 5. Week 8 now. Okay, so week 8 is where you would upload those that speaking outline for the visual aid speech we did last week. Remember that speech last week? It's in week 8. Okay, week 8 folder. It's right here where it says informative speech, visual aid / speaking outline. So go in there and upload your speaking outline. Okay. And then I can give you a grade. That's week 8.
Professor?
Yes.
Are you referring to the informative speech? Correct?
No, well, I'm referring to the visual aid speech we did last week.
Yeah, I remember that. I know you mentioned that we don't have to worry about, I guess people wanted to post their index cards, but
Right. Well, people were saying they couldn't find it. Wasn't open yet. That week 8 wasn't open. Okay. It's open now.
So you
And
just
I
want
guess
to
this
outline.
kind of like goes to what Grace was saying. She wouldn't think it was in week 8 because we hadn't gotten there yet. I think that's what you're trying to say to me, Grace. Oh, we didn't cover that, so why is it in that week? But I did explain probably before you got on, Calvin, that sometimes things are in different weeks because it's just not enough room or space available in the folder that maybe you might think it should be. That's why you need to go back in your syllabus and put the dates next to the weeks so you know what week this, you know the actual date. Okay, I think some of you are saying, what's the date? What's the date?
Yeah, I looked in the syllabus. It doesn't really say the dates on the next to the weeks.
No, it doesn't say the dates. And it doesn't say the dates because it kind of does depend on how far we get sometimes. So the date is not there. It's the week of the school. So you have to put in the work to go to your calendar. Any calendar you have, you can go right up, open up your phone and look at the calendar and match the weeks to the days. This week is week 7. July 8th is week 7. So from today on, you can go back to your syllabus and you can write down what is the date for each week next to the week number that is in the syllabus. Okay? Anybody still not understanding about that?
I get it. So for the impromptu informative speech, that's due. That was due already.
Did it. We did it last week. The impromptu visual aids speech. It's a type of informative speech. Okay. That was last week. I posted the video for everyone so that you can see yourselves. The video is in week 6, I believe. 6 or 7.
So it's due July 14th, right? Well, we have to post it.
Okay, so now you're talking about something different now. Don't get that confused. Right now, we're talking about last week's speech, which was the visual aids speech. Remember that? Okay.
Yeah, I understand.
So with that, last week, I told you don't worry about it, okay? But I can't really give you the grade. I want you to upload those speaking outlines into this week 8 folder that says informative speech, visual aids, speaking outline.
I know it says
That's
July
where they go.
14th too.
Say again, I'm sorry, I didn't.
It said when you click on the link, it says due by July 14th. So that's the one you're talking about.
The speaking outline for visual aids, that was last week's speech.
No, when you click on the informative speech visual aid prompt, though, it'll say due by July 14th. I know what you're referring to from last week, but I'm just saying.
Okay, that's an error. That is an error. We did that last week.
So when do you want it posted by?
So put it in there soon, okay? It should have been put in last week. But don't worry about the fact that it's late. You should already have them because we already did it. So just upload it into this folder so I can give your grade. And then if you want to look at it, you don't have to do any critiques on it, okay? But if you want to look at it, it is also available for you to view. You want to see yourself. Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Okay, now the 14th speaking outline, that is due on the, that's probably the week before. Working outline, working outline, working. Search labeled. No, I can't get anything else in week 6. I don't even know that he had the video. Yeah, there's no requirement for a speaking outline in the informative speech. So that's why there is no folder for that. You're not required to submit it. Okay? Got that? You're not required to submit a speaking outline for informative speech that you're going to post next week. And the reason why I've even asked for the speaking outlines is just to make sure that you're doing it. Okay, to get you in the habit of doing it and to give you pointers on things that you could improve on with it.
Professor, I just got to ask you a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
The speaking working outline, you are reviewing those as well, right?
The speaking working outline, informative, not speaking working, the informative working outline, that's what you're talking about, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I didn't get to that yet, but
okay.
I'm going to talk about it. Any other questions about last week's assignment? Okay, so now we can move on. The working outline, that's in week 6. I did grade them and send them back to you because I wanted to give you some feedback for that preparation outline, because you're not really going to have a lot of time for me to comment on it for you to make modifications. Now, some people did put their working outline into the preparation outline format. You followed what I was showing you, how you transition from the working outline to the preparation outline. Okay. And what the final product was kind of like a draft preparation outline. Okay. Because the final one is going to be with all that research stuck in there. So when you're working on that working outline, you don't really have all that information. So let's take a look at what we're talking about here. So everybody should have already submitted their informative speech working outline. Okay, that's the first outline that we do. And the reason why that outline is there is not really something it's just really there to get you started. Because a lot of students wait until the night before and try to write their speech. So this forces you to think about what are you going to do in your speech. All right. So here's the example that I gave of the working outline for a informative speech. Now, remember, don't take these examples as, okay, this is total gospel. I have to write exactly this. This is what she's looking for. This. No, that's why we have discussions about it. All right. It's a guide, a guide. That doesn't mean you substitute what's in the outline with just like, changing the names and words and stuff like that. You don't want to do that. All right. So here's a working outline for the topic consumption of water. Remember we did this maybe like 2 weeks ago, I think. Maybe we reviewed this. Okay, so for the working outline, this is really all you're required to do. Put down your topic, your specific purpose, your central idea, the main points you want to hit on, okay, and sources if you have any. All right, so here's the specific purpose. And I said to you when we talked about this, that you have to be careful of this word, the importance. Okay, it's kind of like an indicator that this is not a true informative speech. Okay, because remember, I told you that there is something called a persuasive speech on question of fact. And it looks a whole lot like an informative speech, but it's not because of its purpose. Okay, so the purpose, which is to convince someone to do something or believe something. That's different from the purpose of an informative speech, which is to convey understanding and knowledge. Just the facts. That's it. No opinions, no partisan view, no leaning. When you start doing that, now your speech is no longer informative. It is now persuasive on question of fact. Some key indicators are words like important, okay? Words like the benefits of something, okay? the best, the worst. These are, once you start adding on these adjectives that are subjective, okay, you're no longer being informative. You're leaning. Now, as I told you before, all topics could a lot of times be informative or persuasive, but it's all in the way of how you present it. Usually when you're answering questions like why, it's probably leaning more towards persuasion. Things like how to do something are more informative. Okay. A lot of you have some great topics, great ideas, but your speech is not informative. And I told you that in the comments. It's not informative. And there's things that you can do to move it back to an informative speech. Okay? And you'll see that's what I did in this speech. Another way you can tell is at your conclusion. If at the conclusion you're telling people, so the next time you see this, you need to do this, or you should do this. Okay, you're trying to convince people to do something or believe something. Now the speech is no longer informative. So a lot of people, they might keep the speech close to informative, but once they get to the conclusion, you start telling people what they should do. Some people would do things like the main point number 1 is informative, main point number 2 is main point number 3 is totally persuasive. Okay, so you have to make certain that you are having restraint and not moving to that persuasive method of delivering your speech. Any questions about that? Okay. And you see, we just have a couple of general things. It's not full sentences. However, your main point should be a full sentence. All right, so
Professor, can you go to where it says I know you mentioned that if you like use like the term why, it could be in subjective point of view. So looking at this, yeah, it could be. So I just want to know in this instance, on the template, I see that it says explore why you should drink water.
Right.
How did that?
Okay, as long, like I said before, as long as you don't get partisan in there. Okay, partisan is doing things like saying, well, this is the best one. Okay, that's your opinion that it's the best. Somebody else might not think that's the best. Now here we're sticking to the facts of why it's important. We're not going over into persuasion. The 3 reasons why it's important for us to adequately drink water daily is because it nourishes our bodies. Okay. The second reason, it keeps our bodies balanced. The third reason is to aid our body's ability to
Professor?
waste. Yes.
I'm sorry, I still didn't understand the first part you're saying. What do you mean that like it's partisan and
well, this is not partisan. Okay, partisan means you're on one side or the other.
Well, that's why I'm confused because it's still saying explore why. Can you go up to the top because I don't know fully what it.
Okay, now this is key. Listening. I said it could be an indicator. It's not always an indicator. So you have.
So how do you distinguish that?
You distinguish it by the way that you are presenting the facts. I'm not saying in here anything that would lead you to one way or another. It is a fact that can't be refuted that water nourishes your body. That's a fact. You can't refute that. If the fact is irrefutable, then you're on the road to informative. But if somebody can refute that, okay, so I'm going to take your speech, Calvin, because it's in my mind. You had a great topic, okay? And you said you wanted people, why you need to know your rights. Okay. Now, some of the way that you are presenting it is kind of partisan. Basically, because you're saying if you do this, if you know your rights, you will be safe and you won't get arrested and you'll be legal in what you do and all this. Well, some people, a person could know their rights and do the right thing and still not be safe, still get killed in a traffic stop, right? So the fact is refutable.
Wait, I'm sorry. I just said, well, just using my speech, well, my topic as an example. When I said you need to know your rights, I just said like it was like literally a general term. It wasn't saying
Okay,
that you will be safe. It was just
listen
saying,
to me, Calvin. Listen to me, okay?
I know I heard you, so that's what I'm saying. Can I can I finish what I was saying, or you want to explain?
Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, what I was saying is that I didn't say that you would be safe from it. I said it's a protection from unlawful searches, which is a fact.
In in your central idea, you said if you do
Understanding,
these things, you can safely and legally be protected.
yeah, understanding and exercising your rights can ensure safety and legality during traffic stops. I guess that
Can
word safety is
ensure this, yes.
say so
But
safety. Yeah, go ahead.
go ahead. What you say?
No, I want to understand based on because again, you're the listener. So when you heard the word safety, um, what was your point of view in that term? Because it seemed like that may be the reason why it became persuasive.
I said it because you could understand the laws or your rights. You could exercise them, but that doesn't ensure your safety. You see what I mean?
Yeah, when I said, I mean,
I mean, it doesn't always, put it that way. It doesn't always. And, I didn't really go in too hard about it because you did use
yeah,
the word can, right? So that kind of like leads the listener to the, okay, well, sometimes that's not always, but you have to be clear about it. The point that I'm trying to make is once you start putting facts that can be that can be argued. Okay. Somebody might say, okay, I'm going to use Colin's speech. Colin talked about the value index headset, virtual reality headset. And his central idea was the value index virtual reality headset is the best headset on the market. It's the best one for you to pick. Okay. That's a persuasive speech on question of value. Okay. Good or bad, best, worst. Okay. That is a persuasive speech on question of value. So you have question of fact. We didn't get there yet. So I don't want to spend too much time with that lecture. We didn't get to persuasive speaking. But a lot of times students confuse their informative speech with a persuasive speech. And that is what I'm trying to prevent you from doing. Okay. So when I see you going and leaning towards, I want to pull you back. Because any fat, okay, water nourishes your body. It's nobody can refute that. Okay, but if I know all the rules of the road and my rights, it doesn't really, and during a traffic stop, it doesn't ensure that I'm going to be safe. Always. Okay, always. You could be, but you could also be killed. Because we know it's not really a logic, right? Or a reasoning for why people are abused at police stops. We had a good example recently, was in the news, and one of the leading golfers in America was arrested the day that he was supposed to participate in a tournament, and he was arrested because he they said that he assaulted a police officer and all this stuff. And it turned out, well, the police officer tried to grab onto the car and his pants got torn. And so he arrested the man for no really good reason. So I'm saying all this to say, if you make a statement and you're doing an informative speech, you have to make certain that that fact is not really just like your opinion, or it has some type of subjective view about it, where someone else could come in and say, well, I don't think the Valtex headset is the best set.
Basically, it shouldn't be it should be irrefutable.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
All right. So if anybody wants to talk about this further, we can schedule a Zoom meeting or talk about it after class. But you do have to get this concept, because if you deliver a persuasive speech when the assignment is informative, I'm going to take off for it. Because it means you don't know the difference between the two. Okay. Other things, you want to make sure you use that example, this one here, for your speech. I don't want to see any other things. Okay? Any other format. Some of you are just writing body, introduction, conclusion. That's it. Like, you're not writing anything else. No. You need to have these parts in there. That's why it's done like this, so you can make certain that when you write your speech, that you have this information, not the content, but the format, and that you did address it, because without it, you might leave it out. So if you follow the outline, you'll be sure to keep it in, include it in your speech, because this is what I'm looking for, all these parts.
And it's safe to say, for a preparation outline, this would be the perfect example, like all of this detailed, as opposed to the
Well,
working
no,
outline.
this here is a preparation outline.
Right, that's what I was saying.
I
This would be a good.
showed the working outline first. Remember?
Right, that's what I was saying. This is a perfect example of what a preparation outline should look like, as opposed to the working outline.
Right.
Because the working outline that you showed before. Okay. Because I got confused, because when you look on the working outline, you click the link, it has two links. And I just noticed this today. It says on the bottom, well, the first link is the working outline link, and then the second one is the revised template for working outline. Then when you click on the second
Right,
link,
but it says this is I'm showing you how to transform that first outline that we don't have up here anymore. Remember, it just had main point number 1, main point number 2, main point number 3. Remember that?
yes.
Okay. I'm showing you how to take those broad ideas and transform them into this preparation outline.
Right. Yeah, I get that part. I just when I seen that you put working outline next to it, revised, it's like, well, is this what she wants on the working outline? So I
Well,
just
I
kind of
think because you weren't at that class, you missed the discussion about that. So
what class you
that's
talking about?
probably why. Yeah.
Oh, you talking about? Oh, okay. I don't remember
Yeah,
what
you
class.
had a
No.
holiday that day. You had a
Yeah, holiday. Okay, I got it.
so
Yeah.
you weren't
Well, I
in
did it
class.
right. I did it right, but that's why I just wanted to bring that up. But
Right.
I got it. I get it. I
Mhm.
appreciate it.
So this is a copy of, this is an example of how you take those broad ideas from the working outline and then develop them into a preparation outline.
Thank you, Professor.
Okay. Now, one thing I want you to understand, do not get caught up that, okay, I have to have a transition here because the example says there's a transition here. You decide what type of connective you're going to use and where you're going to put it. You decide that. Okay? A lot of times they are used to help move you from one part of the speech to the next part, from the introduction to the body, from the body to the conclusion. It also is used in explaining particularly maybe detailed information that you don't want the person to forget. So like if you're given 6 steps of how to do something, you might stick in some connectives in there because it helps the person to remember. That's our goal. So another thing I wanted to say on that point, that a speech is not a written story. Okay? It's not a written essay. It's not that, because in writings, we can always go back and reread stuff. But in speeches, you can't go back. So it is the speaker's responsibility to make sure that people can remember. You have to make it easy for the person to listen to, right? Make it easy for them to listen to. Make it easy for them to follow what you're doing. Okay, and content, redundancy is so important when you are speaking. It's a strategy. So you might say, well, Professor, why are you saying that again? You just said it right here. Let's start with 3 reasons why it is essential to adequately drink water daily. Main point number 1. There are 3 reasons why it's important for us to adequately drink daily. Okay, you just heard that. Okay, yeah, okay, it's 3 reasons why. Now, okay, I got it. As the listener, right? But it's the speaker's responsibility to do that. So by the time you get to the end of this next transition, now that we've explored the reasons why it's essential to adequately drink water daily, let's now discuss how much water is adequate to drink daily. Okay, just reminding the person what we just talked about and what we're getting ready to talk about. And you will see this over and over and over again. So that by the time you get to the end of the speech and you give that conclusion, that summary statement conclusion, now the reader is right there with you. They've got it. And just quickly, some things I want to talk about with delivery. Please, you start with your attention getter. Okay? A lot of you are still revealing the topic too soon. And some of you are even saying, oh, my name is this, and I'm going to talk about that. No, you can't do that. You have to start right in with your attention getting material. Other thing, practice. Please practice. Practice, 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 practice. It will help you to have clearly in your mind, just etched in there, of what you're going to say. eye contact, vocal variety, okay? Make certain that you practice. Now, if you want to practice with a Zoom, just let me know. I'll send you a Zoom invitation and you can get on there and practice and practice and practice some more. And I'm going to do that for your persuasive speeches. Each group is going to have their own Zoom video, and you'll go there when you want to practice as a group. Okay? Closing summary statement again, restatement of the central idea. So don't start talking something new in the summary statement. The summary is not where you put a lot of new ideas. Okay, it's a summary. And closing remarks, still a lot of you still are, your closing remarks are dry. Okay, you have to go back. I have put in, I believe it's either week 1 or week 2, I put in attention getting devices. Go look at that. Go look at the video on week 4 where I talked all about main points, central ideas, what you're supposed to have, what you're not supposed to have. Okay, I'm seeing things that should not be there. To what's the rules for the central idea? It cannot be asked as a question. Neither can main points. You can't ask them as questions. You have to have only stated in one single sentence, declarative sentence. One sentence. I don't want to see 3, 4, 5 sentences for your central idea. One sentence. Okay, you don't want to be too vague or too general there. Tell us what you want to tell us. Okay. And oh yeah, avoid figurative language. We know that, right? Okay, somebody's in the waiting room. Calvin, he keeps getting kicked off, looks like. Okay, I'm going to get you started on your speeches and your groups. Okay, so the assignment, I told you about it last week. Oh, here it is. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you in your groups, and we call this Science Night. Now, in the chat, I have put in group 1, group 2, group 3. In your chat. Let me stop sharing this. Okay, see there? Group 1, group 2, group 3. And these are your topics. And there's a link to an article that you can read, okay, to come up with information to develop this speech. Now, you all have to work as a team with this assignment. So don't everybody do the same thing, right? Assign people to do certain things. Now, everybody in the group needs to say something. So that's going to be an assignment as well. I want to see a good introduction, the body, and the conclusion. So you get 30 minutes for the research of this, and then we're going to come back to deliver the speeches. 2 to 3 minutes. Okay. 2 to 3 minutes, quick. What else did I want to do?
Where is this? I can't see anything, and I don't understand what you're saying.
Okay, go to your chat. Click on chat.
What chat?
At the bottom of your screen, you'll see, take your
In Zoom?
mouse. Yeah, in Zoom. Take your mouse.
There is nothing in my chat.
It's
in Zoom.
there's
There's
yeah, it's nothing there.
There's nothing there. It says everyone can see this. I don't see. Oh, no, there's no groups. You see where it says at the top? Impromptu mini informative speeches. Is that not there?
No, I only see 2 comments from
Hmm,
on the chat.
that's odd. Let me try to put it in again.
Now I see it.
You see it now?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why you couldn't see it before. Okay. All right, so these are the topics, and then there's the link. It's gonna put you in your groups, and I'll come around to each group if you have any questions. We're gonna create 3 groups. Oh boy, it's warming. Lights.
Professor,
Yes.
we only have about 20 minutes left of class.
20 minutes. No, you don't. You got 35 minutes left for class.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right. So group 1 is
Professor?
Bria, David, Isabella, and Pauline. Group 2 is Ariel, Grace, and Sanisa. And group 3 is Calvin, Colin, and Emma. I'm going to put you in your groups now. You have a question. What's your question, real quick? So I'm going to have to give you 25 minutes. So you have at least 10 minutes for the speeches now. What was the question?
So wait, we
Somebody had a
have
question.
we have 25 minutes to come up with
25
this,
minutes. You got 4 or 3 people in your group.
and we have to come up with research and then give a speech about it.
Come up with, I gave you the research. See those links over there?
Okay.
Okay.
Got
But
it.
you have to read it.
This is Calvin. On what group I'm in? Should
Calvin,
what
you're in
top-
group 3.
Okay, that's topic 3, right?
It should say it on your thing when you get in there, which group you're in. It should say it on there. Okay. So group 1, yours is common solids to improve carbon capture from car exhaust. How about we get that? Yeah. Group 3, you want to take that? Group 3 wants to take that? Let's get at the group 3.
I'm team 3. It's teams, so it's team 3. That's what I'm.
Well, team group.
Okay.
Okay. Room. It says room 1, room 2, room 3. Okay, but that's semantics. Don't worry yourself about that.
I don't even know how to transfer to the other room. It's weird.
Say again.
I'm trying to go to my group. I guess
Well, I
that's
didn't put you in there yet
Oh, okay, okay.
because you're asking a lot of questions. Okay, I'll put you in now. You good, Grace? Click on join and maybe you'll get in. Okay, group one. Do you know what you're doing?
The
We're
carbon.
doing the common solids to improve carbon capture from car exhaust, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okie dokie. I'll be back.
okay. Since there's four of us, maybe like one person can do the introduction and two people
Yes.
do the body and one person does the conclusion.
Yes,
Okay.
that sounds good. Sounds like a good plan, Pauline. Room two, you
Hello?
have AI that mimics how mammals smell.
Yes, we're aware.
All right.
Why didn't it?
I'm gonna bring you back at 20 after. Okay?
All right, we're just trying to read the article now.
Okay, group three. You got 3 types and applications of AI, but in the interest of time, just do the 3 types of AI. Okay?
Professor, do you want to? So we have to put. You already gave us the topic technically, or we have to come up with the topic.
The topic is in your chat, and the topic is 3 types of AI.
And we have to come with a specific purpose and a central idea.
And a speech. A speech.
I understand. That's what I'm saying. That consists of it. So that's what you want in there, right?
Well, you already kind of know what your central idea, your
So that's a yes.
you know what that is already, right?
So that's a yes.
That's a yes. What?
That you want that included. I know what informal speech is, but I don't. I'm like kind of a little bit confused with everything you want in there. I don't know if you want an attention getter. Like, what do you?
Yeah, the speech.
Okay, got it. All right, so I'm on the right path.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna bring you back at 20 after. Well, you asked a lot of questions, so that's why we got a lot of time.